Hi y'all, welcome, Mike Peace Woodturning. Welcome back to my shop for another turning tip of the week. I guess that you could say the tribe has spoken. I got a number of comments saying how much they really missed out that piece of footage that I lost on trimming that cross I did last week on the bandsaw. So I heard you. I went back and turned another cross, and I'll have that clip I'll show you in just a moment on how I use the bandsaw to trim it up, and also as an alternative how you can trim it off on the lathe. I want to apologize to Dean Woodworking. I meant to put that link to that his inspirational video for that cross project. I since gone back and fixed that and added that to the description of the original video, and I've also got it in the description below for this video if you want to watch the original wood turning cross on Dean's Woodworking. Okay, I think the key way to cutting pieces of wood that are small that you need to support on one end as you're moving through the bandsaw, the key is using a wooden hand clamp like this, hand screw. This works great for lots of things. I've showed this in some tips before. Now, since the cross beam is a little bit narrower than the base, you've got to support it, because as the bandsaw comes down, it'll have a tendency to pull this and it'll move on you. So support it with some scrap block like this, and then we're just going to bring it flush up against the edge and drive it through on both sides. Now I cut this on the lathe, this groove, so I have enough wood back here to help support it. I can either cut it on the bandsaw, or I can put it back on the lathe and finish parting it off. I've also got a little bit of waste here, damage from the live center I need to trim off, and I'll do that after I cut this. So let's get started. Let me turn on the vacuum and our dust collector and drive through. Let me take a moment to mention again the community tab on my wood turning channel. I've got a clip of it here. Not every wood turning channel has a community tab. I'm not sure what the requirements are, but you've got to have some minimum number of views and subscribers, which I have. This is YouTube's attempt to make more of a social media out of YouTube by giving you the opportunity to make comments unrelated to a specific video perhaps, as well as me to make comments in general. And I can also add video clips or pictures to that unrelated to another video. And here's an example of the picture. I shot this picture of St. Patrick's Cathedral on my recent trip to Scotland, Ireland. This five-piece cross I thought was interesting, so I wanted to share that with you, and I put that on the community channel. Looks like a possibility for a future video in miniature, of course. And as I mentioned, I can also add video clips to the community channel. So I put a little tiny video clip as shown here, but I put a little longer version on that community tab of my recent trip to an Irish pub and watching some Irish dancing and listening to some Irish music. So I hope you enjoy this. Also, several of you have commented on the inset picture-in-picture view of some of my recent videos. This is a great feature I hope to take advantage of more. It's a complicated process when you use camcorders because you have to handle it during the editing process, and generally I was only using one camera when I was using camcorder because of the complexity of editing too. But with this approach where I'm using web cameras and feeding it into a piece of mixing software, feeding it directly into a laptop, that's one of the features, is you can mix video inputs and use this picture-in-picture. So it's a feature that I like, and I hope to be able to use it more often where it's appropriate. I'm using this setup to do virtual live demos. Think video teleconference, if you will, where I can see them and talk to them, and they can see me and talk back and ask questions. Today's Saturday. I'm taking a break from preparing for the demo I have with a club in California tomorrow, and I'll be doing it right here in my shop, doing it with this live video conferencing. Okay, I'm getting ready for my first virtual live demo with a club in California that is video conference style. They can see me and I can see them, and I just thought you might be interested in seeing my setup. Here's my laptop. Up above I have my microphone, the power supply for the laptop, a plug-in and power. Here's the overhead web camera that's just looking down on the lathe. Then over here, here's a camera, another one heading over the tailstock that's got a web camera on it. And then I have this web camera on the laptop. That little keyboard on top that's recharging is a wireless keyboard I can use to change the inputs. So you can see down at the bottom, those are the three inputs, and I can just push the button. There's a preview screen and there's an output screen, and the output screen is what the club sees. With this setup, I could theoretically actually do a one-on-one training session with somebody in their shop and my shop, as long as they had a tablet with a camera in it and a good Wi-Fi connection. Here's a view of some of the snakes going into my laptop. I've got a little USB video hub with a little holder underneath the stand to hold it, to take the additional parts, and then of course I've got a tangle of cords. I've got to figure out how to wrap some of them and tie them with individual Velcro ties like this to try to get them a little more manageable. There's more about doing virtual live demos on my website if you're new to this concept or you haven't caught it on an earlier video where I mentioned it. So if it's something you think your wood turning chapter might be interested in, feel free to contact me. You can get more information on this on my website. You can help support my channel through purchases on Amazon if you use the link that's in the video description and go through my shop. Not only do I get a small commission on items that I have, wood turning items I've listed there that I've used and can vouch for, but if you continue on within Amazon and make any other purchases, I'll get a small commission from those. For example, one of you purchased a watch for your wife, and I got a little larger commission on that than I do on most of the items, so I really appreciate that, your support in that area. If you got any comments, leave them below. Y'all stay safe. Come on back here.